Hello, and welcome to For Better or Worse, a movie and TV podcast.
I'm offended.
I think I could do better. Hang on. The podcast where a married couple reviews movies and TV. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube at FBOW Podcast to show your support. Thank you for all of your support. I'm Toby.
I'm Gino. You're about to say Gino.
Well, I was trying to think of his name, but I just can't remember.
Foghorn Leghorn. We're doing a review of Foghorn Leghorn's latest Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon.
And today, we are talking about Glass Onion, Knives Out, the movie, whatever the
Apparently
whole
he was
title
upset about
is.
that.
Yeah.
Apparently he wanted to just be called Glass Onion. Anyway.
We have thoughts on that.
We have
Should
thoughts.
I continue doing the Daniel Craig
And the whole
accent?
time, it's never going to get annoying.
What is his name in the movie? Benoit Blanc.
Yep. Benoit Blanc. Man, if that didn't blow up your speakers, I don't know what will. Non-spoilers, is it better than Knives Out? Tell me what happened in Knives Out.
I actually remember.
I don't. So for me, I don't know if it's better than Knives Out, but for better.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's on Netflix.
That's your non-spoiler?
That's it.
We're done?
I mean, because you can't talk about the movie without spoiling everything. So, like, it's good for better.
Right. And I would say it was also for better. I only remember the Knives Out first one because I sat and thought about it. Let me just help remind you.
Chris
Evans did it, but it was the pill bottle.
Oh my God, spoilers for Knives Out, the original.
Sorry, you guys. Come on.
That's also on Netflix. Go watch it.
Whatever. Yeah. The mystery, remember? Was the pill bottles got switched. So the nurse gave...
You had to say that in a Southern accent, too.
The nurse gave the wrong pill bottles to the old guy.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think it's nice for Rian Johnson that he's going to be remembered for these movies and not for Star Wars: The Last Jedi, because Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I mean, I really liked it, and then I didn't really like it, and then no one liked it. So, the fact that these are the movies that is attached to Rian Johnson as a writer-director is probably good for Rian Johnson. So good job, Rian Johnson.
Can you just remind me what was so wrong with The Last Jedi? Which one was that one?
Rian Johnson.
Wait, no, pause. Stop.
Okay.
Answer my question first. Which one was The Last Jedi?
Episode 8.
So that was the one where Luke is part of the Force.
No.
He's
he dies.
He dies,
yes.
and then Force ghosts.
I mean, he's a Force ghost in episode 9. He dies in episode 8.
How many episodes are there?
9. Plus, there's a billion things.
Okay.
And a million books.
Well, I don't remember what happens in 9. In 9...
No one remembers what happened in 9 because Rian Johnson took what they were setting up and exploded it. And then they were like, just kidding. We were setting it up anyway. So instead of having a trilogy that was pre-planned in advance, which would have been smart, just like a little doodle like we do for the notes here. Hey, this happens, then this happens. They didn't do that. So they had Rian Johnson write and direct episode 8, even though he's only made one other movie before that. And he just kind of took everything and blew it up. So Luke doesn't really care about the Force, and he kills off Emperor Snoke, yada, yada, yada. He likes to, and what I was about to say was, Rian Johnson likes to subvert expectations. This is now a meme on the internet. Mm-hmm. Subverting expectations is a thing that is attached to Rian Johnson.
Oh, he spells his name weird, too.
And it is generally considered a negative, but in this movie, there are some expectations that are subverted that I think is a really good scene. We'll talk about it.
Okay,
but
I'm
yes,
just seeing
that's
what
a
else.
joke.
What
so
else?
Yes.
So he also did an episode of Breaking Bad, 3 episodes of Breaking
Good for him.
Looper, which I definitely
that's the movie he did before Star Wars.
Didn't see
that, no. Apparently it's pretty good.
And then just excuse me, Evil Demon Golf Ball from Hell, a short.
Ugh, we should have reviewed that on the podcast instead of this.
Right? Oh, upcoming projects. This is old.
Okay, we have to review this movie. All right, so anyway, it's good. Watch it. Spoilers from now on. Spoilers for Glass Onion. There's a glass onion in it. It's a big old glass.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was a fun thing where you the play on it, right? An onion has a lot of layers. It's glass. You don't see any of the layers.
Or you can see right through the layers into the middle.
Right. So I thought that was also a fun. No, it was clever.
God, we're so deep on this podcast. We figured out.
Gino doesn't let me be deep.
You can be deep. Go be deep.
I'm trying to be deep, but I can't honestly find the words for it because
our vocabulary is limited by our public school education.
What's the metaphor for?
I don't know, like metaphors. I think it's like a like there's supposed to be all these secret stuff, but like it's made of glass. You can just see right through it. And
right, but it also there's got to be like something deeper here
That's
for like rich people, like doing things.
It's like obviously stupid. It's like a mystery that you can see right through.
This is why we can't be deep.
Nope. We have no idea what we're talking about.
Gino won't be deep with me.
Okay, so Toby, I can tell by your brilliant Southern accent that you are a big fan of Daniel Craig in this movie, who is British, Scottish, Welsh, British.
I love Daniel Craig.
Does a great Southern accent.
It's very ridiculous.
Oh, it's like Foghorn Leghorn. I mean, I think based on the name, and I'm sure this is true for the other movie because he's in the other movie, in Other Knives Out.
And he's in the third one.
He's supposed to be like a character from Clue, which are all named after colors. So he's named Benoit Blanc, which is white. That is the color white in French. Mm-hmm. Someone correct me.
No, yes.
Yes?
What's wrong? What's the problem?
Oui?
Oui.
Which I think he's supposed to be like this over-the-top, classic kind of like movie detective. And he is. They also bring up Clue in this. I don't know if they brought up Clue in the first one. But they like smack you in the face where he's like, he's supposed to be like Clue, smack.
Right, because then it's like, you must be really, like they even talk about it in the movie, like, you must be really good at Clue. He's like,
I hate that game.
I hate stupid things or whatever.
The game's spare. I hate it. Is that my good? I sound like Angela from 90 Day Fiancé. Anyway, so the whole Rian Johnson subverting expectations bit happens in this, but it's like done as a joke. So the whole movie is based around like this super rich guy, which we'll talk about him, inviting all his friends to an island for like a fake murder mystery. And what I thought this movie was going to be about was that the fake murder mystery was a real murder mystery.
Yeah, someone really died.
Like he actually kills somebody, but he doesn't. He actually is trying to set up a fake murder mystery for fun. And then Daniel Craig's character figures it out in literally 10 seconds.
Then he does kill someone.
We'll talk about it, Toby. Do you not remember the movie? Anyway, so that's the subverting expectations part that Rian Johnson has to throw in there.
I remember
is that Daniel Craig just like ruins this guy's whole weekend by figuring out his he had paid like a writer that you know.
Oh yeah,
he says he paid a writer to come up with the whole story.
He paid the writer of like Sharp Objects, Gillian Flynn.
Yeah, so Edward Norton, the rich guy, says he paid like a lot of money to have someone write this story for his little friend weekend, and Daniel Craig.
Did she do Gone Girl?
I don't know. Oh, if I'm using Gone Girl a mystery?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yes.
There's a lot of like throwing out, like there's a lot of like, you know that scene in Guardians Christmas special where, I'm talking to you, Toby.
I'm sorry.
Not the audience. You know that scene in Guardians Christmas special where they're talking about like, ew, actors, celebrities suck, I hate actors.
Yes.
I feel like this movie is like a higher class version of that scene where like instead of them just looking at the camera and be like, we hate actors, this entire movie is like, rich people are dumb. Yeah. Which is weird because it's made by rich people.
But it also makes fun of like a bunch of different types of rich people. Like the YouTube rich people are on there. Yeah. The politician rich people. Yeah.
And then all of us peasants are just watching on Netflix, paying our taxes and whatnot.
Just a regular not rich person.
I don't know how I feel about Hollywood making fun of Hollywood. It's kind of like, see, we can make fun of ourselves.
I'm okay with it, but I also want a chunk of it. So
you want to make fun of yourself?
They should pay me to watch it a little bit.
Right. I guess I wouldn't care so much if they gave me money. Mm-hmm. Give me money. We'll give you a good review if you give us money.
Yeah, pay us off.
Pay us off. And then we'll be like, look, you're a great movie, Glass Onion. Hollywood can make fun of themselves. Yeah, so that's like this movie. There's a lot of like poking fun at celebrities, which again, I really like that, but it's just weird coming from like celebrities. Like, you don't get away with the stupid stuff you do just because you make fun of it. Celebrities. Speaking of which, Edward Norton, Toby. So, Toby, we had an argument about this already. Who do you think Edward Norton? Sorry, are you busy on the?
No, I'm listening. I'm like going. It's like, so I'm dealing with two things right now. One, heartburn. So if you see my face on the YouTube,
well, I said we had an argument, so I gave you heartburn.
He gave me heartburn. So one, I have heartburn. Two,
also you're pregnant. I gave you a pregnant.
Right. So this is all your fault, essentially. Yes. And the second problem that I am
is it the internet? Please,
coming upon.
Please don't tell me the internet's not working again.
No. The internet's fine. Also, wow, Jamie Lee Curtis was in the original Knives Out. No, I'm having trouble.
Yes, she's the main character.
Forgot. No, I'm having trouble. There we go. I got the Glass Onion cast back.
I had that up already.
Right.
But
I'm in charge of that.
Right, okay. Anyway, so Edward Norton, we argued about this before.
Yes.
And you said so you think that Edward Norton's character is not based on an Elon Musk type person? Because your podcast told you that it's not. Some other podcast said, it can't be Elon Musk. Elon Musk has only existed for the last 3 months.
Well, no, but
Whereas I think he is based on Elon Musk.
Right. And now what's really fun about arguing with Gino is Gino's right.
I'm right.
So there's no point in me saying anything.
Okay, so like Elon Musk has always kind of been, I wouldn't want to say like 100% a fraud. He's not a fraud, but like he's always been like not as good at things as people think he is. And I feel like most people are only getting in on that now because he bought Twitter and like blah, blah, blah. So like, obviously this is not based on like, I bought Twitter Elon Musk. This is based on, I think it's based on before I bought Twitter.
Now, my question is, did you come to this conclusion on your own or did you hear it from something else?
I have not watched any reviews. I never watch any reviews of things before we do the podcast, unlike some people I know.
I didn't watch it. It was on my podcast.
I go skip.
Oh, never.
One of the podcasts I listened to said they liked the Christmas Story Christmas. So I cannot take any of my tech podcasts
the same podcast,
seriously,
yeah,
based on their movie reviews.
No, my podcast greenlit that too, and I was like, I disagree with you.
Call them, email them, be like, you guys are wrong.
But so
who do you / the podcast you listened to before this think it's based on?
The podcast didn't say who I think it was based on, but they were basically saying their reasoning was because like the movie had to be written like years ago.
Right. And Elon Musk was born in 2022.
Well, no, but like he wasn't as big of a name and like whatever.
I was gonna say he founded Tesla, which is fake again. So like this is what I'm talking about.
Why do I bother?
He did not found Tesla. He actually was an early investor who then sued the company so they could say that he was a founder.
Right.
So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like Elon Musk has been like kind of a fraud for years.
Right, but it doesn't. So the character feels more like the guy from WeWork, who's like very into like meditation, who is like actually the guy from WeWork is actually smart. This guy is not, which was
and I would say Elon
funny.
Musk is probably smart.
I would probably say that, but he did buy Twitter.
This guy's way more charismatic than Elon Musk. Elon Musk is like
which is like the WeWork guy.
Yeah, or like there's like a little bit of Steve Jobs in this guy. Mm-hmm. Like he has the freaking Bob Dylan guitar. Oh no, he doesn't have the Bob Dylan guitar. I think he has the. I
don't know whose guitar it was.
It was Paul
McCartney.
Paul McCartney's guitar that he just like throws in the sand. So like that's like a pretty Steve Jobsy kind of thing to do.
Okay, fine, whatever. Just like he's an amalgamation of all of these.
Every fraudster billionaire who people think is like a super genius when they're really just like kind of good at marketing is in there.
Right, which was nice. I mean, maybe I'm skipping ahead, but I really liked that he was a total fraud and like came up with no ideas.
Yeah, except for like fun. One good idea that then everyone thinks is bad.
I don't think it was but that's not
of course,
his
not
idea.
his idea. But like, okay, we'll talk about that too. I was a little disappointed in the idea that he was the bad guy because I feel like that's the obvious choice. Like, of course, the crazy billionaire is a murderer.
I didn't see it coming. I was really hoping it was.
I said before, I saw it coming. You're like, no, you didn't. I watched the movie with you. You didn't see it coming.
And you had no idea.
But it's still like the obvious choice.
Right, but it was so obvious you didn't get it.
I guess. Way to subvert expectations, Rian Johnson.
Like, it did make sense, though, because literally throughout the whole movie, Benoit Blanc, oh no. Yeah, he was basically like, everybody wants to kill you. Like, you're terrible.
Right, and it's like, he's the murderer.
Right, like, he's so terrible, he actually did a murder.
Yeah, he did a murder.
He did 2 murders.
How about subverting the expectations where halfway through the movie, you find out that one of the characters isn't alive, and it's been her sister the whole time?
I mean, that was wild.
Yeah, we'll talk about her. Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, I feel like for that, for some things, I want to be able to, like, see things like that coming, but...
Yeah,
you know, it kind of feels like a Deus Ex Machina?
Like I feel like it's cool to be able to go back to one of these movies when there is a twist like that, and then go back and watch like, oh, what were the hints that this person wasn't really who they were? Which happened. Okay, I can't say it.
Wow.
I was gonna say what game I'm playing right now where that happened in, and I went back and watched all the scenes, but don't say it because it's a huge spoiler for that game. It's a huge spoiler. So I'm not even gonna mention the game. But it happens in a game I just played. And then I like go on YouTube to watch all the scenes of them like speaking. You're like, it was them the whole time. I don't think this movie does that.
For this one, it's like the character that, so the character that died.
Yeah, we can spoil this movie.
Yeah, so in this movie, right, Janelle Monáe's character, the original one, her name is something. God, I'm
so Janelle Monáe is basically playing what again? So Edward Norton invites all these rich people that he's friends with to an island. One, Dave Bautista is one of them. He's like some sort of like alt-right tech bro, kind of like Joe Rogan, like male feminist, no, not male feminist, you know what I mean? Men's right activist kind of person. You have like Kate Hudson.
And then we bring his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend. You have Kate Hudson, who's like standard, like has been Hollywood type model, ditzy blonde.
Who like now sells clothing and like is the head,
right,
head of a
Lululemon
brand.
or whatever. What's the scam one? Not Lululemon. What's the one where it's like a marketing scheme?
LuLaRoe.
LuLaRoe, right. One of those types. You have I said Dave Bautista already. You have Autumn Jr.
You're going to do this by yourself.
I'm doing it by myself.
Leslie Odom Jr.
Leslie Odom Jr., who plays like an engineer who works for like this movie's version of SpaceX, which is why I still think it's Elon Musk. There's literally SpaceX in it, or their version of SpaceX. Mm-hmm. Then you have Janelle Monáe, who plays
Andy something.
Right, who plays like one of the people who's involved in the SpaceX thing. Yeah. But really, that person's dead. And Janelle Monáe's really playing her sister.
Not Andy. Another name.
Playing the rich lady who is also using a fake accent because they're from the South. But Janelle Monáe's original character also could do the accent. So it's like Tropical Thunder. She's playing a guy.
Wow.
Playing a guy.
It's not tropical.
Tropic Thunder. Playing a guy, doing a fake accent. It's awesome. She does a great job. Mm-hmm. Janelle Monáe is probably my favorite actress in this movie. She's great. I think that's it.
You're wrong. Kathryn Hahn.
Yes. Agatha. You thought it was going to be Agatha all along, and it's not.
Every time Kathryn did something, I'm like,
it's her. And she plays like your typical like middle of the road Democrat.
Well, wait, this was in my notes.
Like you might as well just called her like Hillary Clanton or like what's his face? Andrea Cuomo.
But she without the inappropriateness.
Well, as far as we know.
As far as we watched the movie. It didn't seem
But you don't know what she's been doing.
Anyway, it seemed, I wrote this in my notes, but like, it was like her character on Parks and Rec, remember?
Yeah, like a more toned down version of that.
She was definitely more toned down, but God, I love seeing her in everything.
I still like to think it is Agatha Harkness, but like
always.
She's just in, right, like every Kathryn Hahn movie is just Agatha Harkness.
She's just a witch in disguise.
In disguise, yeah. So she plays that like kind of typical like, we don't really want universal health care kind of Democrat. Sorry, my political views aren't supposed to be on the podcast. No politics. And like, there's this one line she has where she's like, "Yeah, if this gets out, like the lefties won't even vote for me anymore." I'm like, "Screw you, lady. Like, I don't want to vote for you now."
Right.
I'm a lefty. I don't like you.
And also, like, they probably will if you're up against it.
And like, I think what one of my favorite aspects of this movie, because it happened in real life, was that like, okay, so COVID exists in this universe, right? So this takes place in like May 2020. So you're right in the heart of like, COVID's brand new. We've been masking for like a month and a half.
Yeah, it did seem like directly after COVID, and was so confused because in a bunch of scenes, nobody was wearing masks.
Well, I think that's part of the joke, and it makes me so upset because that's what actually happened. That happened in real life. How many celebrities and politicians kept getting caught telling everybody on, "Hey, you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask," which I agree. I'm not saying I'm anti-mask. But like, then you had all these celebrities and politicians not wearing masks. So we all had to wear masks, and we couldn't go out to go.
Right, and then they would all get each other sick.
And they're all hanging out, and whatever. So this movie definitely is that. That happens in this movie where like all these celebrities and politicians are like, Kathryn Hahn's literally, I think, like on camera talking about COVID.
Without a mask.
And like Kathryn Hahn, no, not Kathryn Hahn, sorry. What's her face? Kate Hudson. She lives in like the Upper East Side in New York. In the middle of COVID.
Kate Hudson?
Kate Hudson's in this movie.
No, she was like in California at a big party.
She was in New York City. She was in Manhattan.
How do you know?
Because establishing shots, they show New York City.
Oh, but she was at she was at like a big giant party where nobody was
in May 2020 with like 1 million people, and like her assistant's like, "Hey, maybe we should like not have this many people here." She's like, whatever.
This is my pod.
Oh God, it makes me so mad. And like that kind of stuff is why we have anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers now. It's like, you caused this. Sorry, my political views are not.
Right. I guess it was just like, I mean,
I liked it because it actually happened in real life.
It did. And it was also interesting because I was like, oh, like it is, like COVID is a thing in this movie. Like in this universe.
Yes. That's
what he was saying this whole time.
No, it's not what it was. Well, what I was saying is that, like, yes, COVID exists, but also they're showing how celebrities and politicians acted during COVID.
Gino's getting tense.
Bad. I mean, no, it's because get your vaccine boosters, guys. We gotta get our vaccine booster. I got one booster.
You didn't get two?
I don't know. You got your second booster?
I've gotten two.
You got two boosters?
No, maybe I got 2 shots.
So far, you should have gotten 3. If you have the same as me, you've gotten 3 shots.
3.
You need the 4th.
I need the 4th.
May the 4th be with you, Rian Johnson. Anyway, so that aspect's funny. God, this is just like hate on celebrities week here at FBOW podcast.
I guess so. You all right?
Pulling a Toby and burping. Yeah. Okay. So can we talk about the freaking stupid hydrogen fuel thing?
Yes.
So you find out the whole reason why he's murdering people is because they've invented a hydrogen fuel, like a solid hydrogen, which doesn't make sense because you have to be at like absolute zero, I think, for hydrogen to be a solid.
Hydrogen was in the form of a crystal, and like hydrogen on Earth is naturally the form of a gas. I did pass my Chem CST. You're welcome. I wish you would just continue.
Water.
Why don't you? Hydrogen?
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't really occur naturally on Earth unless it's tied up with water, or like in other organic. Well, sorry, water's not organic, but it's tied up in like carbohydrates and lipids.
No one's gonna let me teach chemistry.
No, but anyway, I mean, I'm sure there's some free hydrogen in the world, but I don't think there's that much. Someone who knows more than we do, please comment. But like, okay, so you've invented a solid hydrogen that's a crystal, but you plan on then pumping it into people's houses like natural gas at the right? Because that's like a thing that he gets in trouble for, or like that the engineer guy gets mad about because they're gonna like put it in people's homes. And it's explosive?
Yeah, like it was already the plan. It is very flammable, which is why hydrogen, like pump stations, are really dangerous.
Right, but okay, just so everyone is aware, we have a gigantic oil tank in our house, also very flammable. It will burn the entire house down. So like, or like natural gas, super duper flammable. So like, what's the difference?
There's definitely a difference because otherwise they would use hydrogen fuel more often.
Well, we don't because it's very expensive. The reason why we don't use it is because it's very expensive. You have to like separate it out from water, which you might as well just use whatever energy you have to make the hydrogen fuel. You might as well just use that energy directly. So like if you're going to use fossil fuels to make the hydrogen fuel, just use the fossil fuels.
Anyway,
if you're going to use solar to make
hydrogen energy has no carbon emissions. So it is it's like a preferred method if we could afford it and harness it.
Right. And
so like not a bad thing.
Hydrogen is also the primary ingredient in nuclear fusion, which there's a huge breakthrough a couple weeks ago, right? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that like as libs, we are fans of hydrogen. Like I would love if scientists figure out how to do nuclear fusion, which probably will use hydrogen. Cool, great. They literally say at some point in this movie, Catherine Hahn's like, if I get found out being associated with this hydrogen fuel, I'm going to lose the left vote. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right?
What lefties is against fusion power? Fusion power is like the miracle, like holy grail of energy generation.
That was confusing to me too.
If we figure that out, like literally I watched this movie the same week that there's like a huge breakthrough in nuclear fusion. Mm-hmm. And I'm like very confused by why Rian Johnson thinks liberals don't like hydrogen fuel.
Is that a mixed message here?
Or he just doesn't know what he's talking about and is just, or maybe he doesn't like nuclear fusion.
Maybe somebody would have said something reading that script.
I mean, like nuclear fusion, the joke is, the joke about nuclear fusion, Tobes?
Ugh.
It's been 5 years away for the past 50 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you tell I love talking about this stuff? Maybe I should have been a consultant on this movie, Rian Johnson.
Oh, how much money would you have gotten?
$0.
$0.
$0.
I think that's an expensive role.
Anyway, so I thought that was dumb. Toby, you wrote, no one likes explosions.
Well, because like
so that's what they try to say in the movie.
Essentially, that's what they're saying, that it's like very, very dangerous and like
because it blows up,
right? Very easily. Like you light a match and then boom.
Yeah, I mean, you could just have hydrogen. Yes, does blow up very easily.
Well, but that's I mean, like a little different than like oil. I
think oil is hard. Gasoline though definitely blows up with just like a spark.
Right.
So like we have that. So like he's the big bad guy. Like the bad thing he does in this movie that makes Edward Norton so evil, aside from murdering people, is invent a hydrogen fuel, which first of all we already have.
I think the thing that makes him bad is that he steals people's ideas and then like doesn't consult people about it. He did it without consulting.
Steve Jobs did that. Elon Musk did that.
Bad? It's bad.
Yeah, whatever.
It's bad.
The bad thing he does is he murders people to try to hide it. What I'm trying to say is like, why are you trying to hide this? Right? Because like he murdered Janelle Monáe because she was gonna like not approve his hydrogen project.
Well, I think because probably because they haven't figured out how to make it less dangerous. So she's like, I can't approve this right now.
We figure that out in the real world.
No, because he was going to just do that, though, and put it in the real world without problem solving.
Just like come up with a fake thing, Rian Johnson. Don't come up with like a real thing that exists.
Or like be
and then
more
not
clear.
Follow the rules of the, because then people like us who like know like 1% about hydrogen fuel are going to be like, meh.
I know, like literally 1%.
I don't know a lot, but I know enough to be like, we already have this. It's not solid. First of all, solid hydrogen would need to be extremely cold. We're talking about like 1 degree Kelvin kind of cold. So like that can't even exist anyway without being in like a crazy, like a freezer thing.
I don't know why you whisper.
Because this is so I don't yell. Anyway, the whole premise thing is dumb. Come up with something better, Rian Johnson, like that Edward Norton did.
Right, or
I don't know, what was Jurassic World? Or they made like crazy locusts that like kill everybody.
I mean, that was dumb, right? We're agreeing that was dumb.
Yeah, but like at least it's like a thing that doesn't exist, so it's like a fun science fiction-y.
No, that was dumb.
Okay.
I thought the locust thing was so dumb.
Whatever.
And then, I mean, like, I don't hate this, but like, explain why it's good, and then also explain why it's bad.
Yeah, or just don't say. Just come up with a fake name.
Right, or some kind
uranium.
of like,
that's perfect.
Right.
So, a uranium that's safe for the home, but no, it's not. That's a way better thing than like hydrogen, which is like already a possible fuel source, and is like possibly the thing that'll help us do nuclear fusion.
I imagine we have lost all of our listeners.
Whatever. I mean, we don't have any listeners anyway, so we just talk about whatever we want.
I guess that's true.
Welcome to the Energy Generation Podcast, where people have no idea how energy is generated, pretend like they do, and talk about it. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Just hire for like $20. Just have like a science person.
There's got to be at least one science person.
Look over your script. Just go tweet at Neil deGrasse Tyson. He'll do it for free. He'll yell at you.
Probably. So yeah, I thought that was, I mean, cool, but like, I would like more explanation. I feel like I want more explanation for a lot of things, but no, the reason he was like bad or like murdering people was because he like cut Janelle Monáe's character out of like the company.
Yeah.
Right? And then took intellectual
he killed her. Yes, he killed her because
her idea for the app that they designed together.
She found evidence that she is actually the one who owns the copyright of the company and not him.
Right.
Got it. Yes. Okay. That's why he killed her.
That's why he killed her.
But also then Janelle Monáe, the sister version, blows everything up after like all the evidence for like being able to prove that Edward Norton stole from her sister. And killed her sister. It gets destroyed, so she just blows up his mansion with the hydrogen fuel thing.
Right, so then that's how we see it's so dangerous.
And she destroys the actual Mona Lisa.
The actual, which we saw.
Which, again, more of the whole, like, celebrities suck, we hate celebrities, like, we hate rich people suck kind of stuff in this movie. It's May of 2020, COVID's happening, so, like, the Louvre in France is closed. So because he's rich, he, like, gives them a donation and gets to have the real, actual Mona Lisa in his house, which, like, again, man, rich people suck. I literally was sitting there like, they should tax the rich. I know it's fake, but like that's probably a thing that did happen. Anyway, so then by blowing up his little house or his giant house, she destroys the actual real Mona Lisa. And Toby, I'm asking you, if a family member of yours was murdered, and the only way to get the murderer, it was you standing there, and the Mona Lisa was in the way, and then the murderer. Would you destroy the most famous painting in the world, therefore setting back humanity in terms of its art history to get to the murderer? Would you destroy the best painting ever made?
I think it would be really tough.
What if it was
for
our
me.
son? Our son got murdered.
I guess for
Hopefully
our son,
never happens.
Right, knock on wood.
And the only way you could get the bad guy was blowing up the Mona Lisa.
I guess I would have to,
You have to do it, right? You got to blow up the Mona Lisa.
You got to blow up the Mona Lisa. But now that you're thinking about it, and as boring as it was, being in the Louvre, looking at it from a
the Mona
distance.
Lisa sucks.
Sorry, guys.
First of all, it's this big.
It's so small. I just have to be and you can't get close to it because there's a crowd. I literally, and first, Gino and I don't like art museums. Why did we go to the Louvre? Just take the picture outside the Louvre. Say you went.
Right. Do it for the gram. And then instead of going to the Louvre, just go to more restaurants in France, which is the reason you should go to France.
Yes. And every restaurant is at least 4 stars. Yeah. Even the little ones.
Just Google Mona Lisa.
And you've seen it.
Right.
Mazel tov.
It's not that impressive in person.
No. It was cool when we went to the other museum, the d'Orsay Museum, and we saw Van Gogh stuff.
Yeah. It was Van Gogh French. I guess, right? That's a French name.
I don't know.
He's in Doctor Who.
He is in a Doctor Who episode, and I did make Gino watch it, and it's one of the best Doctor Who episodes.
Toby started crying. I'm like, why are you crying?
It's so sad at the end because he sees how much everybody loves him. But yeah, don't go see the Mona Lisa. But I guess
also
don't
go blow it up. Also, if I ever find out that a rich person could pay money to get the real Mona Lisa during a global pandemic, I'm going to find a billionaire and beat them up.
Or if you have I don't know, anecdotal evidence of a rich person doing something ridiculous like that during COVID just because they had money, please let us know.
Go beat them up so we can beat them up.
Specifically.
Yeah, I'm going to go find Congress. I'm like, listen, tax them. Give them all the taxes. Sorry, no politics. No politics on the podcast.
No politics.
Okay, literally remember extremely limited things about the first movie. So is that your way of saying, because this is what you wrote, you don't remember much about the first movie? Because I remember all of this movie. Is that it's only been a week. Are you saying that this movie is better because you remember more?
I don't. I don't. Gino likes comparing.
Of course.
I don't know which one was better.
Top 10 list of Rian Johnson movies. Is this number 1 or number 2?
You're not going to, I don't know.
Last Jedi is number 8.
Okay. Yeah. All the way to the bottom.
I mean, I like it. I like Last Jedi.
Blank because he doesn't even have 10 movies out.
Right. The rest is blank.
Wow.
Or it's like you put in the 3 episodes of Breaking Bad that he wrote.
I guess so. I don't remember. I thought it was funny, but I can't remember why.
I remember liking the original Knives Out, but I have no idea.
But even with this one, I don't remember why it was funny. I don't remember who I thought was funny. I think
Daniel Craig is funny.
Who?
Daniel Craig's funny.
Daniel Craig's funny.
Batista.
But what did Batista do? Was it funny?
I remember Batista's good in this. I like seeing Batista in more movies. I want more Batista movies.
I don't like how bumpy his head is. It's like his brain is exposed.
It does. He's always had that. Even when he's a wrestler.
It's like his brain is exposed.
He's got a weird flappy head.
Yeah.
But he is he's getting up there with John Cena right now. It's I like seeing them in movies.
What did he do that was emotional? And you were like, wow.
I think it was Guardians Holiday Special.
Oh no, it was this one when his mom. That was funny. He was recording. He was at his house with his mom. Oh
yes, because the movie starts where the Edward Norton rich guy sends them all a ridiculous puzzle box as an invitation, and there's all these ridiculous difficult to solve puzzles, and his mom's figuring them out in 1 second while she's reading the newspaper behind him. He's like, "Mom!"
It's pretty funny. That was good.
Yeah, and then I love how.
Okay, I remember the funny parts now.
Yeah, and I love that Janelle Monáe. I don't know if this is the original. I guess this is the sister, right?
It was the sister that did it.
Instead of just trying to solve the puzzle box, she takes a hammer and breaks it open.
And then we were at home, so Gino said that's what I would do.
That's what because I was like, why don't they just break it open? And then someone did that in the movie.
Well, because the other friends know that this is how you open invitations.
And she's mad because her sister got murdered.
Also, her sister got murdered.
Yeah, very murdered.
And I also liked. So,
did I laugh out loud? I can't remember, but it was entertaining.
It was entertaining. I like mysteries like this where there are a lot of twists and turns and the whodunits. One, because I never know. I never know who done it. And
I like not knowing who done it.
Me too. And it's also too fun to see. Sorry, I didn't mean also too also as well. It was my number
Get the
2.
grammar police.
There's so many people on Long Island that do that. They'll say also and too at the same time.
So
they mean the same things, guys.
Did you already figure it out we're from Long Island based on our ridiculous accents or no?
What? I'm from the South.
Don't we have like one person listen to our podcast once from like Saudi Arabia?
Yeah,
you're
welcome.
It's probably a VPN. It's probably someone from one of our friends who uses a VPN.
They're like, we're going to just throw them a bone.
Yeah.
Look at them being global. But so anyway, that was my number 2. Is I like watching them because I like seeing at the end how everything ties together. And what's that?
Airplane, helicopter. Oh. They're not going to hear it.
So that was cool the way that they did that because like, I was going to say Matt LeBlanc.
Bianca Blanc. Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig's character.
Yeah.
Benoit.
Double O Blanc.
Yeah. I like that he essentially figured everything out right away.
Yeah, it's great. We talked about that already.
No, but I don't mean like figured it out right away, but like we would see that as time went on. Like he wasn't supposed to be invited.
Nope.
And he went in, and to us, it looked like he went in being like, oh, why am I here? And it turns out that, like, he knows why he's there.
He was hired by Janelle Monáe,
right,
the sister version.
Exactly.
To figure out why her sister was murdered.
Right, which was, like, a nice twist. And then, like,
half the movie is just explaining that. Like, like, once you find out that Janelle Monáe is her sister, half the movie is explaining that whole, like, how that happened. It's like a solid 30 minutes.
It is, because I remember that happened like 40 minutes in, because you paused it, and I was like, what is the rest of the movie?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, I guess when I've talked to people about this movie, they don't like that aspect of it, where, like, half the movie is just explaining the backstory of the movie.
I like it.
And it happens in the middle of the movie, but, like, that would have been worse in the beginning of the movie.
Because then you would have known.
You would have known, and it's not fun.
Right, and then you get to, like, also think about parts. So one of the parts that I thought was fishy, so so before we found out who Janelle Monáe's character was, when they get off the boat, she, like, stops Benoit Blanc and is like, oh, your shoe's untied, or like, you have a flat tire. And I was like, why would they why is that important?
But
and
they
then
were whispering to each other.
Later we find out it's because they were chit-chatting with each other. So like those are the things I pay attention to, but I don't like figure out why. Like, I'm not thinking about why. I'm just like, oh, I have to remember that happened.
Yeah. And then, like, one point you see her, like, drunk. And and it turns out, like, she's been drinking because she's, like, nervous about pretending to be her sister.
Right. And she thought the kombucha, who's Jeremy Renner's, whose kombucha
again, there's, like, so many celebrity shout outs in this movie of, like, little time. So, yeah.
Well, not even that. Do you know?
Jeremy Renner's hot sauce.
So, sorry, I did it again.
Yeah, there's all these little things. Yeah, again, it's like that. It's the scene in Guardians Holiday Special where they say,
but, like, Ethan Hawke was in this. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke was in it. Hugh Grant was in it. You remember? Benoit Blanc's roommate.
Oh, yeah. But they're not playing themselves.
No, but like, not necessarily.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is playing himself. He's in this.
Yeah, no, I think everybody else played themselves, because remember
why
when he was
would that actor live with Benoit Blanc from the South?
Gino, Benoit Blanc was on a Zoom call with Angela Lansbury and wasn't it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and like
they were
Stephen
playing
Sondheim?
Themselves. Okay, so maybe he just okay.
So like, why wouldn't Hugh Grant be himself?
Actually,
Hugh Grant his name was Philip. I'm looking at the IMDb.
Okay, but I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that Zoom call was playing himself.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, and like there's all these like celebrity. Yeah, there's like no, it's not Daniel. It's not Jeremy Renner's hot sauce. It's freaking the Joker, the bad Joker. He was in 30 Seconds to Mars. He was in We Were.
Oh, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's kombucha.
Yeah.
So anyway, so like the whole movie, in the beginning of the movie, Janelle Monáe is like quiet. She doesn't talk a lot. So I like the idea that you find out the reason why she's not talking a lot is because she's pretending to be someone else and she doesn't want to screw it up. So she's just trying to be all stoic and mysterious, not on purpose, because she doesn't want to talk and mess up her accent. So like, that's all cool. I like that.
Right. So that was like, but like, again, we wouldn't know that, like, I feel like that wasn't a big enough signal in the beginning, like when they're re-explaining it.
Right.
Because like the girl's character wasn't friends with any of them anymore. So obviously she would have been cold anyway. So it was like, it was like not a big enough breadcrumb.
We did not rewatch this, but maybe if you did rewatch it, there's more hints, but I don't think there is. And I'm not going back to rewatch it.
No, there was only one scene we rewatched and it didn't matter anyway because it wasn't significant.
Well, yeah, because it was something with the drinks, right? That like you think that.
No, the drink thing was true though. The drink thing, he hands him, that was true. No, it was when Catherine Hahn knocked into Dave Bautista because they're like, "Where's the gun?" And I was like, "Look, Catherine Hahn knocked into him."
And like Catherine Hahn clearly does like a thing, and she like it looks like she throws something under her pillow.
Yeah.
So like you clearly think that it was Agatha all along, that she did steal the gun, but she didn't.
I just wanted it to be Agatha all along.
Yeah.
And I just wanted them to play the music.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum.
Man, we loved WandaVision.
I know. Do WandaVision too. Just like make her crazy again.
I feel like, Disney's taking a break from like series, huh?
They should. Phase 4 has been crazy.
Yeah.
We haven't reviewed a Marvel movie and like freaking She-Hulk, get out of here.
We just reviewed Wakanda.
What's the next one?
Christmas special. Spidey?
I think it's Ant-Man.
Quantumania.
That's going to be the good one. Yeah, they should have done that way earlier because then like would have set up Kang more. Kang.
That's going to be a fun review.
Yeah, we'll review that. Oh, and next we got to do Wednesday. And we're releasing it on a Wednesday, like a month after the show came out. Guess what we're not reviewing? Avatar. High five. Maybe when it comes out on streaming. Yeah, I'm not going to the theater.
Did we have a week off? Just now we did. We did.
Anyway, so now I watched this streaming. But I think it's so good I would not have been upset if we saw this in theaters.
I wouldn't have been upset in theaters. I think it would have been fun.
Rate all the streaming things. Like, would I have been mad if I paid $15 for this?
Right.
And I would have enjoyed paying $15 for this.
I think me too. And because it was a good mystery. I've heard on some of my other podcasts, like they didn't like it, but
they're wrong.
They're wrong. I don't think our movie tastes are the same. But like, if you enjoy what they like
Christmas Story Christmas, so they're wrong. Is this the same podcast?
No, none of my podcasts have talked about A Christmas Story Christmas.
You said they gave it a green light, one of your podcasts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Spirited.
Oh, they like Spirited? They're also wrong.
I know.
Yeah, no, boo.
No, this podcast...
Although people at work have told me they like Spirited, but they're wrong.
I know. Everyone has said they like Spirited. Yeah. I love Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds together. Yeah. I'm like...
And an 11-year-old killed themselves, so...
Right.
In the movie. So.
No, it's tough for me, guys. It's tough.
We're done. Anything more you want to talk about?
I think I'm done.
High five. Millie abandoned us. She's over there sleeping.
I know. She's so cute.
All right. Read the outro.
Oh, sorry. There. You know what? We took, 2 weeks off?
2 weeks off. Toby forgot the outro. Thanks for watching. No. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon.
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and you want to know more, visit our website, forbetterorworse.buzzsprout.com, and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you use to never miss an episode. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat. We did not hit our 100 subscribers.
We failed.
By 2023.
Don't tell them that.
I mean, like, it's the truth, guys. You could go to our YouTube and find out.
1 billion subscribers.
We got 1 billion for 2023. So seriously, share it. Talk about us. Tell people you like us so we can at least hit 100. God, give us some dignity.
Give us something.
To let us know what you think, comment, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Oh, also something that we're doing on Instagram is what we watched all week. So check out our Instagram, FBOW Podcast, and tell me what you watched. Talk to me. It's generally me.
But don't check out the last picture in that post because then you'll figure out what I was talking about before. That was a spoiler for a game I'm playing.
So if you're a gamer, I guess don't visit our Instagram. But if you're like me and you don't care. Go ahead. We'll see you next time when we review more movies and TV.
We're reviewing Wednesday. On Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.